Hello everyone, Joseph Hadid here for Worldwide Sport Updates, your podcast, your news, your local community, and let's recap the long week that just happened. First and foremost, let's address the Major League Baseball World Series that finished off on Tuesday. Dodgers lost to the World Series winners again, and MLB tradition continues. The Atlanta Braves won the 2021 World Series, continuing a tradition that is now in its sixth year and counting. Dating back to 2016, the Dodgers have either been eliminated in the postseason by that year's champion or won the World Series themselves. This year's National League Championship Series saw the Dodgers fall to the Braves in 6 games, followed by Atlanta beating Houston in 6 games in the Fall Classic, which ended Tuesday night at Minute Maid Park. The Dodgers streak, however, 2016 they lost the National League Championship Series to the Cubs in 6 games. In 2017, they lost the World Series to the Astros in 7 games. In 2018, they lost the World Series to the Red Sox in 5 games. In 2019, they lost the National League Division Series to the Nationals in 5 games. In 2020, they won the World Series in 6 games. In 2021, they lost the National League Championship Series to the Braves in 6 games. It's not that quite the longest such streak in MLB history, with the Dodgers as of now 1 year shy of the Yankees from 1998 to 2004. 1998, they won the World Series in 4 games. In 1999, they won the World Series in 4 games. In 2000, they won the World Series in 5 games. In 2001, they lost the World Series to the Diamondbacks in 7 games. In 2002, they lost the American League Division Series to the Angels in 4 games. In 2003, they lost the World Series to the Marlins in 6 games. In 2004, they lost the American League Championship Series to the Red Sox in 7 games. Dave Roberts had a say in that 2004 American League Championship Series, with the most famous stolen base in Red Sox history. And now every year of his managerial career has ended either by losing to the champs or winning it all. Before 1969, the only actual postseason was the World Series. But that didn't stop Brooklyn from getting eliminated by that year's champion 4 times in a 5-year stretch, with the Dodgers' first title mix in between. 1952, they lost the World Series to the Yankees in 7 games. In 1953, they lost the World Series to the Yankees in 6 games. 1954, they got eliminated by the Giants in Game 149 of the regular season, finishing second. In 1955, they beat the Yankees in the World Series in 7 games. In 1956, they lost the World Series to the Yankees in 7 games. I cheated a bit here since 1954 involved a regular season elimination, but Brooklyn was knocked out of the race on September 20 that year, just 12 days before the end of that year's World Series. For comparison, in 2019, the Dodgers were eliminated in the National League Division Series by the Nationals on October 9, a full 3 weeks before the World Series ended. Let's start with some NFL news, and what a recap after the NFL's trade deadline. Let's start assessing 6 moves made ahead of the 2021 deadline. NFL franchise uses contextualized data to create competitive advantages. In order to realize an edge, teams need to employ the right data in the right way at the right time. This means distilling, interpreting, and applying only the most influential data in a framework that accounts for their personal, their opponents, and their evolving game situations. My goal is to be your analytics department. Let's begin. Broncos trade Von Miller to the Rams. This deal falls in complete alignment with the Rams' recent strategy of acquiring veteran players to maximize wins in the near term and foregoing the uncertainty of the NFL draft. The last time they drafted in the first round was 2016, Jared Goff, and they currently are without first round selections in 2022 and 2023, sent to Detroit in the Matthew Stafford trade. This latest deal is certainly a shrewd one for the 2021 and perhaps beyond, but it creates some questions about the roster's long term, given that the Rams are currently holding only one pick in the first 4 rounds of next year's draft. As for the immediate future, pairing Aaron Donald with Miller creates a fruitful cycle for both. Their pressure rates and sack potential forecast to increase as offenses contend with the challenge of creating protections that can account for both of them and Leonard Floyd too. No player has been double or triple teamed more than Donald since the beginning of 2016, and yet no one has as many pressure as Donald over that time frame, per computer vision. From the Broncos' perspective, they reportedly paid $9 million of Miller's remaining salary and acquired an additional second-round pick and a third-rounder that is guaranteed to be better than the 2023 Century selection they would have received had Miller stayed in Denver for the remainder of the season and then left in free agency. It appears the Broncos are maximizing their flexibility for next year's draft, with 5 picks in the first 3 rounds alone. While losing Miller, the NFL sack leader since 2011, 110.5 sacks, reduces their remaining projected win total for this season by 0.54 games. They might be setting themselves up for a brighter day in 2022 and beyond, should they spend their earned equity the right way. Steelers trade Melvin Ingram to the Chiefs. From the Steelers' standpoint, this move seems to boil down to the 2 main factors. One is that they believe in Alex Highsmith as the complement to TJ Watt off the edge. The other is that they are willing to pivot quickly when things aren't working, which is evidenced by, among other things, Ingram's playing time dropping to just 17 snaps in Week 6 and his low pressure rate 9.8% with only 1 sack on the season. The Chiefs' side of this is a bit more complicated. They rank 22nd in the league in quarterback pressure, 71 total, and are tied for the second fewest sacks, 11, in addition of Ingram, along with Chris Jones. Improved health could boost those numbers quickly if Ingram can stay on the field and Kansas City can put offense in more third and long situations. On first and second downs, the Chiefs have been giving opposing quarterbacks 2.74 seconds to throw, ranked number 20, and allowing the third highest passer rating, 110.3, on third downs. The Chiefs give opposing quarterbacks the second most time to throw, 3.18 seconds, but they have a top 8 pressure rate, 41%, and a top 8 passer rating allowed, 71.2. Perhaps Ingram's presence will allow Jones to play more snaps from the interior. Such a move projects to decrease the time quarterbacks have to throw, which would certainly help the team's defensive backs. Chiefs trade LeVerett Duvernay-Tardif to the Jets. Duvernay-Tardif, who started 57 games from 2015 to 2019, hasn't played a snap since the end of 2019 season. He opted out of the 2020 season and was inactive in all but 1 game this season after breaking a bone in his hand this past August. With the 30-year-old being an impending free agent, it seems fair to assume a soft market developed for his services, reflecting the uncertainty of his current and future value. The Chiefs should have a better idea than anyone else when it comes to what Duvernay Tardif can offer right now. And they're obviously comfortable with rookie Trey Smith, who has started every game at Duvernay Tardif's old right guard spot. However, this is still a very keen move for the Jets, who need to keep forfeiting their offensive line to protect their investment in Zach Wilson, the second overall pick in this year's draft. For the price of Dan Brown, the Jets' 2020 snaps leader on special teams, 335, saw just 28 offensive snaps. They acquired a right guard with a Super Bowl ring. New York has the rest of the season to evaluate whether it should invest in him beyond the season, and according to Pro Football Focus, Duvernay Tardif allowed 4 sacks total from 2017 to 2019, and had no more than 6 penalties in any of those seasons. Patriots trade Stefan Gilmore to the Panthers. The Panthers are reportedly saving $5.8 million in salary cap space by trading Gilmore away. But the cost for them would have also involved paying the veteran cornerback enough to satisfy his desire for a new contract. Clearly, the Patriots didn't want to allocate the resources necessary to get the deal done. The Panthers, on the other hand, crushed this trade, which carries the best win share increase and long-term potential while coming with the smallest cost of any trade this season. And Gilmore made an impact right away. Pure PFF, in his 4 targets as a Panther, he allowed just 2 catches for 19 yards while snagging an interception that iced the game with under 2 minutes left. Setting aside the time he missed this season in New England, Gilmore's recent history is stellar. He produced top 5 or better win share results over the previous 2 seasons, with a solid 64.3% completion rate allowed, 96.7 passer rating in 2020, and a jaw-dropping 49% completion rate allowed, 47.4 passer rating, pure PFF, in his Defensive Player of the Year season in 2019. The Panthers are getting that kind of production in exchange for a 2023 6th rounder, which no doubt helps take the sting out of a losing first round pick, Jace Horn, to injury. Plus, Carolina should have a leg up on keeping him around for the long term, should both sides be happy with the fit. Eagles trade Zach Ertz to the Cardinals. Ertz usage has not changed much in Arizona. Pure NGS. In 6 games with the Eagles, he ran 129 routes, 21.5 per game, while being targeted on 24% of routes, 8th highest among tight ends. And in 2 games with the Cardinals, he's run 42 routes, 21 pure, while being targeted on 21.4%. The main difference here is the value of the other pass catchers in Arizona, which is much higher than the value of those in Philly. Ertz off-ball metric helps improve the off-ball metrics of DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green, Christian Kirk, and Ronaldo Moore. And their off-ball matrix help improve his. The creation of space increases the odds of making a catch, as well as the odds that there will be busted coverages. The Eagles still believe in targeting the tight end position, and they still have Dallas Goedert. But they are rebuilding while the Cardinals are gearing up for a potentially deep postseason run. Texans trade Mark Ingram to the Saints. The shortened learning curve Ingram faces in this system, having spent the first 8 seasons of his NFL career with Sean Payton in New Orleans, adds to his value here. We've already seen improvement from him in his 1 game back after posting a yards over exception of minus 14. Minus 0.15 per carry in Houston. Pure the next gen stats. He bumped that mark up to 2 plus 0.32 per carry with New Orleans in week 8. For the modest cost of a 2024 7th rounder, the Saints added a reliable component to an offense that will continue to redefine itself without quarterback Jameis Winston and wide receiver Michael Thomas. Let's quickly move over to some NBA news. NBA superstar Kevin Durant is launching a $200 million spec with crypto assets, an area of focus. Two-time NBA champion Kevin Durant is launching a special purpose acquisition company aimed at looking for a tie-up with a tech-driven company, including one in the 2.7 trillion cryptocurrency market. Durant's Indefinite Acquisition Corp filed for an initial public offering of up to $200 million with the Securities and Exchange Commission. It seeks to have its units listed on the New York Stock Exchange under the symbol NFNTU, offering 20 million units for $10 a piece, with Credit Suisse acting as the underwriter. Durant, who currently plays as a forward on the Brooklyn Nets, will continue his working relationship with entrepreneur Rich Kellman. The two have worked on deals involving cryptocurrency exchange Coinbase, online brokerage Robinhood, and food delivery service Postmates, which was bought by Uber in 2020. Durant scores 32. Nets hit 22 threes in a 117-108 win over the Atlanta Hawks. The Brooklyn Nets are starting to look like the team that was so potent a season ago. Kevin Durant scored 32 points and led the spurt that broke open the game late in the third quarter. And the Nets beat the Atlanta Hawks 117-108 on Wednesday night for their third straight victory. We're finding that rhythm. We're finding each other. And it's just getting a lot easier, James Harden said. Durant had 13 points in a 20-4 run to end the third that turned a tie game into a 16-point Nets leading going into the fourth quarter. He added 7 rebounds and 5 assists overall. Joe Harris made 6 3-pointers and scored 18 points. Harden had 16 points and 11 assists, and the Nets finished 4-2 on their homestand. They begin a 6-game road trip on Friday. We knew it was going to be a process for us. I'm glad we were able to figure some stuff out the last few games and get back on the right page, Durant said. We know it's going to be a tougher one on the road, but we've just got to keep grinding. DeAndre Hunter made all 6 3-pointers and scored 26 points for the Hawks. Trae Young had 21 points, 10 assists, and 9 rebounds, but shot just 6 for 22. Let's move on to some NHL news. NHL COVID-19 Case Tracker 2021-2022 updated list of players to miss games this season. The 2021-2022 NHL season is underway, and while the majority of players are fully vaccinated, only Tyler Beritzy remains the most notable name remaining unvaccinated. COVID-19 is still impacting rosters on a nightly basis. A number of the league's stars, including Patrick Kane, Erik Karlsson, and as of November 3rd, Sidney Crosby, have tested positive. Players who test positive are placed on the non-roster COVID protocols list. It should be noted that other players could end up on that list too. Like last season, COVID protocol-related absences can be the result of a number of factors, including an initial positive test, which remains unconfirmed until confirmatory testing is done, mandated isolation for symptomatic players required quarantine as a high-risk close contact, isolation based on a confirmed positive test result, quarantine for travel or other reasons. Subban fined $15,000 for actions in Devils game. New Jersey Devils defensive man P.K. Subban has been fined $15,000, the maximum allowable under the collective bargaining agreement, for tripping Anaheim Ducks forward Trevor Zegras during the NHL game number 142 in Anaheim on Tuesday, November 2nd. The National Hockey League's Department of Player Safety announced today the incident occurred at 3:51 of the first period. The money goes to the Players' Emergency Assistance Fund. And that's all for this week. I will see you on Saturday's podcast. Till then, hit the like button and subscribe to your Worldwide Sports Update, your podcast, your news, your local community for the latest sports updates. This is Joseph Hadid again for Worldwide Sport Updates, and I'm signing off.